First of all, let's talk a little bit about Willis Towers Watson and your role in the company. Tell me more about that.
Sure. Willis Towers Watson. It's a global advising, broking, and solutions company. We've got about 45,000 people spread out across 120 countries. My role as network architect for our company is to strategically align our investment and our plans around network and telecommunications.
So when we were chatting earlier, you were telling me about the workplace modernization project that's going on at Willis Towers Watson. Can you give me a better idea what it's all about?
Yeah, it's called Agile Workforce internally, but it's all around making our colleagues more productive, within the workspace. It's physically changing the workspace itself into more collaborative workspaces and stuff like that. Colleagues don't necessarily have assigned seating. It's more of a flexible workspace, and it's a push to where you can work remotely and consume the same services as if you're in the offices. That brings in different elements like BYOD elements, kind of our traditional type stuff, but it's also bringing in more cutting edge stuff like IoT, desktop proximity sensors, so we can actually track colleagues as they come in and stuff, and how much of our floor space is actually being utilized on a day-to-day basis.
So your workforce has become a lot more mobile that's ever been before, right?
Yes, it is.
You have first-hand experience of what that means for an employee at the company, I guess.
Yeah, I'm consuming the services by and large remotely, so it's important.
And now with all of this change in the way the workforce is organized and where people work, how does that tie to your cloud adoption plans? Because you were talking to me also about that.
Started on our cloud adoption journey about 3.5 years ago. It was more focused on IaaS, infrastructure as a service, and particular line of business apps getting over there. Now it's much more about a wholesale migration to IaaS, but also a platform as a service and SaaS as well. That coupled with our plans on Office 365, which is our primary productivity tool for enabling that agile workforce. We've got a lot of stuff going on with the cloud right now.
All right, Chris, you got quite a lot going on the cloud side, and you are the main network architect. How's the cloud, the delivery impacted your day job?
So obviously the consumption of SaaS and multi-hybrid cloud are changing dramatically what our network needs to do. So we've got a network strategy around 5 pillars. We need to relocate the core services and carrier-neutral facilities so that they're closer to the nexus point of where all of this is happening. SD-WAN and SD-LAN are obviously big components as we change how we deliver and deploy and operate networks. Cloud security and changing from a more monolithic, limited internet egress topology, that becomes important. Having common policy and being able to get into a direct cloud access, direct internet access type of model. And then fundamentally the 5th is embedding security as a portion of the fabric.
So it looks like that's keeping you busy. Now, let's go back for a second at the adoption of software as a service, Office 365, which are clearly strategic initiatives for you. How's that worked out? Tell me more about your SaaS delivery and how you guys have worked that.
So we've been using Riverbed's SaaS Accelerator now for quite some time, about 18 months or so. And we've been seeing a lot of very good use cases and data points coming out of that. Somewhere around 90% reduction in the amount of data for Exchange Online, 60% or so less bandwidth being consumed from SharePoint Online. And we've actually seen about a 33 times performance improvement for consuming.
33 times is quite a bit.
Yeah, SharePoint services, it's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, but how did you measure it?
So we already consume a lot of Riverbed's performance management solutions. So we've got a lot of telemetry into packet flow, servers, code, and that type of stuff. But what we were really missing was visibility into the end user compute devices themselves. We're missing that telemetry, and without it, it's hard to tell. Is it the end user compute device that's having a problem, or some transport infrastructure, or the vendor back end, especially when you're consuming off, cloud-based applications where you lack a lot of visibility. That's where we went with Riverbed's end user experience management solution. It's given us a lot of visibility into those end user compute devices.
Okay, so you get the before and after picture all the way from the perspective of the end user. And
exactly.
And you can close that loop.
We can close the loop, and we're trying to build a system that will be proactive and that we can identify groups of users and or services that are having some type of performance impact, and we're able to proactively and transparently correct the issue before the users even realize it.
Cool. Chris, looks like you're working on a lot of interesting things. I really thank you for coming with us. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.